Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with Game 3 of the 2010 Bacchus on GameNet Star League Semifinals between Stork and Modesty. Stork, the man on the right side of the screen there, Song Byung-gu, one of the few pro gamers who I actually know, well, not one of the few, I guess I know several. One of the pro gamers that I know the name of, the actual Korean name. Basically showing that that's how big of a deal Stork is. He's actually a pro gamer that a lot of people know his actual Korean name. You know, Modesty, who knows what Modesty's name is? But Stork, he's been playing so long and in such high status that everyone knows Stork. Stork is going to be the yellow Protoss, but first we're going to get a shot of the hatchery, the initial hatchery of Modesty, our orange Zerg player. Is Modesty going to be able to come back in this game and make a series out of it, or is he going to get 3-0'd by the great and powerful Bird Toss, the dinosaur Protoss, slayer of Zergs? We'll find out. So, this is the map Pathfinder. It's a very strange map. It's kind of a weird map. You'll see as it goes on, we're going to see these players take expansions, what have you, that your expansion is kind of around this little curve, and it's an interesting map because, oh, that's kind of a weird effect, holding up signs in the dark. It's an interesting map because the positions are actually close by air. It's a 3-person map. It looks like Stork is going to get lucky and he's going to scout Modesty first. And I'm not sure what's going on there. That was Stork's hand is taking something, I guess. I don't know. No idea what's going on there. Hoping to learn Korean at some point. I've dabbled in it before, but do not actually know any of it. Anyway, there's is that another? What is that? Is that a dinosaur? I have no idea what's going on with some of these signs. That's just. Oh man. Anyway, it is a 3-person map, and the positions, as you can see on the minimap, are close by air. It's pretty relatively short distance by air. It's kind of awkwardly close. You know, it's like you know, Stork spawns in one bench on the subway, and you know, Modesty kind of spawns in and, like, you know, sits next to him, and you know, like his elbows kind of in his space, and anyway, awkwardly close spawn positions. So Modesty, it looks like he's going to go for pretty much the same thing here again. I actually wasn't paying attention, but I'm pretty sure he went for an overpool. No, actually no, never mind. He's gone for a 12 hatch this time instead. Is what it looks like. Stork's going to get his no, never mind, there's the pool. I was like, wait, I thought I saw a pool. Yeah, so it looks like he's gone for the same overpool build into hatchery. So Modesty, a big fan of this build. You know, it's a build that's designed to make sure that you can put some early pressure on the Protoss, and also it's good to defend against rushes and what have you. So it's a pretty safe build. It's not the best economically, but especially on a very small 3-person map like this, I'm a big fan of that build because you know, otherwise, oh, that's interesting. Stork's actually going to put down 1 cannon instead of 2, and then get his gateway going. It's a good move on this map because then he can actually use the cannon to kill off that lurker egg later on if he wants to get out of his base, or either lurker egg, I suppose. Oh, although he's putting probes there, so maybe there is a pathway after all. But he only needs that 1 cannon. If you've got any kind of gap at all, you need the 2 cannons if they're going to try and run by. But Stork just trying to get that 1 cannon. He also, I mean, he's got a scout in Modesty space. He again sees not too many Zerglings or anything like that, so he knows he's pretty safe getting that gateway first, and then getting the 2nd cannon. Pretty smart move, just in case of you know, some kind of a Zergling attack. He sees more Zerglings hatching, but he was able to get that gateway up first, and that's actually going to make his tech quicker. So smart move by Stork. Anyway, Modesty now getting at 3rd base as well. This time, again, close to his main. I think that the distances are so short on this map that it makes a lot of sense for him to get that expansion close to his main this time. You know, putting it at a different expansion somewhere else isn't really going to buy him enough time to make it worth it. In fact, actually in this situation, I think the natural expansion, from the natural expansion of the other spawn point on the right side of the map is about equidistant to his own natural expansion. So it doesn't really help him much. It's actually going to be safe for him to have one defense point near him, and you can see that it's actually that third base is actually in this little nook just near his natural expansion, so makes a lot of sense. Stork now getting a Zealot to put in that gap so he can put his probes back on minerals. And Modesty, he just made those several Zerglings, and he's just going to droning up now at this point, chasing that probe around with the Zergling. Overlord now splitting. He's seen the Stargate. He knows what's coming. He knows that it's not some kind of crazy multi-gateway build. And he's going to try and save that Overlord. Probably the Overlord will perish to a Corsair later on, but it's done its job. It's done its job. Anyway, oh, Stork's probe goes down finally. Stork just losing track for just a moment. He doesn't get a chance to see that Spire. He's probably going to assume it, and it won't change his build too much. I mean, he's probably going to send out another scout before too long, just to, well, never mind, he's got the Corsair building. He's just going to use that to scout. So, I mean, basically you just want to make sure you're constantly aware of what's going on in the Zerg space, because you never know when they're going to switch up and say, you know, build a Hydralisk Den and go for a 3-hatch Hydra bust or something like that, or a 4-hatch Hydra bust, which, you know, I wouldn't put it, this is a good map for that kind of a thing. I'm not sure why it's a good map, but I see it a lot for some reason on this map. People go for Hydra busts. I guess it's probably just because, again, the short distance between the spawn points. But anyway, he does have Corsair out, so he's going to start roaming that around and scouting around just to make sure that it is a Spire and it is not just a Hydralisk build of some kind. He's getting the Hydralisk down now as well, but not until he's gotten extra hatcheries, so that it doesn't indicate a Hydralisk bust. It's just, you know, you get the Spire to get some Corsairs, I'm sorry, some Scourge out to deal with the Corsairs, and then after that you can get Hydralisks out just kind of as your main army sort of thing. I mean, if you can take control of the air, you can go Mutas, but it's really hard to pull off against Protoss, especially Stork has been consistently building many Corsairs, and so you can kind of expect him to build multiple Corsairs if you're Modesty at this point. So we are going to see a little bit of a lull. Stork is going to retreat back to his base and build up Corsairs. We're probably going to see him. Stork likes to go for these little timing attacks, and actually there's a few Zealots coming out now. So he likes to go for these attacks where he puts a little bit of pressure on. The cannon's not quite done. Not a safe place for those Corsairs. That's to run to his expansion. But yeah, these Zealots actually moving out. He's going to put some pressure on Modesty. Now this can kind of go two ways. It can either, and he's moving around the back, but Modesty's going to spot it. Now this is the thing. This can go two directions. This can either really catch Modesty off guard and he can take out some drones and really put pressure on the expansion, or if Modesty's ready for it, then he can really stomp down on the Zealots and take them out early, and then Stork is stuck without an army, and then Stork is stuck in his base for a while, which is actually not a very good position for Protoss to be in. The Zerg can then really drone up and maybe even take another base. No sunken colonies at this base, though. Very interesting. He should have gotten at least one sunken colony behind that wall. He doesn't, so he's actually going to try and run over. Does he have any sunkens at his expansion? It appears that he hasn't gotten, instead of getting sunken colonies, he's gotten some Hydras. Again, similar to last time, the last game rather, getting those early Hydras out to deal with things, deal with Corsairs and what have you, and managed just to track down a couple of those Zealots, kill them off. Again, Modesty with not too big of drone saturation. He's been playing really low econ, and it's something, you know, I saw Calm kind of playing this matchup low econ the other day as well. So I wonder if maybe a lower drone saturation game is what. Oh, look at that! Oh, nice, stopping the other Corsairs and dodging with the one Corsair that's being targeted by the Scourge. Beautiful micro by Stork. Wow, so Modesty's pinned back in his base at this point. There are Corsairs running around, and there's another base going up behind his expansion. Kind of an awkward way to, you know, there's an awkward land route around the bottom to get there. So if Stork comes in from the north, then, you know, it's relatively easy to put some pressure on that base, that new base he's getting. But, you know, if he's got good coverage, especially if he has Mutas, if he does get Mutas out eventually, tries to take control of the air, then Modesty would be in good shape to control that fourth base and do a decent job of that. Stork stuck just again at 2 bases. He's going to have to do some kind of pressure here, some more pressure rather, since he has been putting some pressure on. Wow, losing a Corsair. Yeah, and see, there we go. So now he can just take out those lurker eggs and be able to get his whole army out of his base pretty smoothly. So you know, you can wall in with less on in this map. Templar Archives is up. He's got the two High Templar. Flock of Scourge hunting around for those Corsairs, and here comes those Zealots. +1 Zealots now heading down the map. A huge group of Zealots, actually. It looks like a control group of Zealots, and a couple High Templar actually to follow up. He's going to retreat to those High Templar if Storm is finished, and try and get a Storm off on those Hydras, which would really soften them up. He needs to get some. Oh man, he needs to get some mutas out. I'm really surprised Modesty seems to avoid the muta play. I mean, obviously he got some mutas in that other game, last game, but got him a little bit later. He's gonna try and snipe these High Templars. Storm goes off. Dodges the Storm rather nicely. He's microing back and forth. He's gonna try and come in from different angles here. He needs to snipe those High Templar before they get another Storm off. Actually, they might be out of energy anyway.